score a lot of points from their defensive transition, and then the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State University are very proficient and very fluid on offense.
We had a small light delay. Georgia Amore probably shot lights out in that first game, but now we're in game 2. We are now underway. Officials Kyle Bacon, Alicia Murray, as well as Zach Brost on the call for today. Trojans start off with the ball. Another player that you're going to keep your eyes out on is Destiny Littleton. She won the title with the Gamecocks last season and automatically out the gate an and one for Rhea Marshall.
Just a tremendous rebound and an opportunity for an and one.
The only Pac-12 player to average a double-double this season. And if she continues in that, she could be the first since Lisa Leslie. They get the O board off the missed free throw. Great box out underneath. And that's sent up the floor by Maya Sullen. And here's your tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. You see it for the Jackrabbits. Another player that we didn't mention is Tori Nelson, who has been outstanding for the Jackrabbits as well, who are unbelievable when you're talking about how they're coming into this tournament with just so much fire and force offensively. Went 18-0 in the Summit League, got the title there, but also on a 21-game winning streak. Their last loss was December 15th against the Gamecocks. So out of the gate, Helen, a couple of O boards for the Trojans.
And South Dakota, they can run. They don't need to slow the basketball down. They're very proficient at primary and secondary break, and you'll see that throughout this entire game.
Selin held up. 8 on the shot clock. Selin gets it back. Fade away, rolls around, no good, and the rebound goes down to Rhea Marshall. And starting lineups brought to you by Capital One for USC, Kayla Williams, Destiny Littleton, and Rhea Marshall. Taco as well.
A tremendous athlete.
One of 3 players on this roster averaging double figures on the other side. South Dakota State still looking for their first bucket. As we're about 2 minutes into this ball game. They have 4 players that are averaging double figures coming into this ball game. Nice look on the other side.
And USC, you can see individually those matchups are an advantage for USC.
That's an offensive foul. And Lindsay Gottlieb in her second season at USC. Winning is what she does. This is the 3rd team that she's been able to take to the NCAA tournament. UC Santa Barbara Cal, where she went to a Final Four with that team, as well as USC now. And this is the first time they've been back to the tournament since 2014. Last season, her squad went 5-12 in conference and much improved in this season. That's going to go off the foot of Sissoko. So we go to the other side for Aaron Johnston, who is in his 23rd season. And my goodness, 7-time Summit League Coach of the Year, 20 seasons with 20 or more wins. Drew Gilton bringing the ball up the floor for the Jackrabbits. Beautiful dish pass, but not against Rhea Marshall.
On both ends of the floor, she has been huge for USC.
164 career blocks. Shooting against her probably isn't the best idea. Maya Selin trying to work her way on the inside. Beautiful look over the left shoulder.
And here's the thing about South Dakota State. They're not going to get wild. They'll continue and be patient and get themselves together. They're very familiar with playing against power conferences. So they're not going to fold early here in this game.
Started off the game 0-4 for the Jackrabbits. Now they're 1-7. And the response from Kayla Williams. Jackrabbits trying to advance and just grazes the fingertips of Tori Nelson.
Offense always takes a lot longer, and that's what they decided to hang their hat on early in the season.
At 54.8. As far as their scoring defense, they are on track to have the best scoring defense in program history. Prior was 58.8. See how they'll close the season. Littleton bounces around and gets that one to fall for her first bucket. Off the bounce. No good by Timmer. Just being in his shoot around, you can tell he's such a teacher to this program.
What I'm most impressed, though, is that I didn't see any gray hairs then or now.
You know what, Helen? Another thing that really stood out to me is that every player on that team had the same color shoes.
There you go, see? That's my thing. Everybody should have the same color shoes on. I'm old school.
That was 20 years ago.
As you see Destiny Littleton, nice old school three-point shot there.
You mentioned it, just how the Trojans so far have been able to really clean the glass. They already have 4 offensive boards, haven't been able to convert. And 1! Sometimes you just have to really fill out the game. Earlier today,
and see, here's where USC struggles. When you have them set up their half-court offense, they really struggle.
For the Jackrabbits, who winning is just what they've been able to do in the last few games. They have a scoring margin of 19. Tyson able to draw the foul for Madison Mathewitz.
South Dakota State, their guards are big kids. All of them are big kids.
April 2nd when we crown a champion. Every game is on the ESPN Family Network. So Kaylee Tyson was able to knock that one down. She's the 2023 Summit League 6th Woman of the Year.
And you see USC going in a little drought here, scoring offensively. Again, downhill.
Now she checks back out because now she has 2 fouls. So Allison Mira checks into the ball game.
And that's the second time that Paige Meyer's been able to get to the basket and get an opportunity at the free throw line. Shooting free throws, those are huge for them in their wins.
Paige Meyer has 4 consecutive games in double figures. She drains that one. And it's just good to see her back on the floor. And USC can really hold on for the last shot. They shoot with 10 and an offensive foul. USC has not had a field goal in the last 4 minutes of this quarter. Meyer. Wraparound pass. 3 no good. Tries to send it back out. Not enough time to get a good look off. So that will do it for the first quarter. And fast would be an understatement. So out of the timeout. Not the look. Lindsey Gottlieb won it. She has 8 left on the shot clock. That one can't connect either. But O boards have been the name for the Trojans at this point. They have 5 O boards.
Haven't really capitalized on them. A turnover here again. Their receiving average is 13. They've got 7 in the first quarter, and there's another one.
So 8 turnovers so far for the Trojans.
And that's what South Dakota State wants.
3 on the shot clock. And a travel.
South Dakota State settled down, started playing team defense, and started getting better opportunities on offense, better looks at the basket.
Trojans led 12-2 to start this game. Now the Jackrabbits on a 9-0 run, and you can count that bucket too. Haley Timmer gives the Jackrabbits their lead of this ball game. Sissoko tries to send it into Marshall. Marshall over about 4 players and still is able to draw the foul.
Just great defense here. You see lack of communication there on defense by USC.
Marshall knocks down the first free throw. She's a 64% free throw shooter on the season. Big reason why she's part of the All Pac-12 defensive team, as well as the All Pac-12 first team as well. And those were much needed points. Those were their first points in the last 6 minutes. But if they can't stop the Jackrabbits, you would think they would send it over a little bit, as you were saying.
Well, they're just, again, they know their personnel, and they know when to help and how to help. They communicate really well on defense. And right now, they're only giving USC one opportunity.
Gage Meyer didn't like the look, so she's going to reset the offense. Nelson stripped from behind by Williams, sorry. And the nice look for Marshall trailing.
And that's the best offense for USC.
Burkhardt sends it out. And that's why Lindsey Gottlieb's love Kayla Williams on the floor. It's because she gets you those type of looks in transition. That was tipped out of bounds. Understood the assignment.
Yeah, unlike USC, and they've shot under 30% in 4 of their last 5 games. So again, just struggling on that end of the court.
Another short shot clock, as that's just stripped away at the top of the key by Peyton Burkhardt. That's the 10th turnover for the Trojans. It doesn't get much better than that bucket by Sullen.
Every time a player touches the ball, you can see Destiny Littleton, she is not getting an easy shot. They're able to convert.
Had a very impressive win going in this tournament without 2 of their primary scorers, and the Jackrabbits average about 80. There you go, Helen.
And if you're USC, you just sort of hung on till you get to the halftime.
USC shooting 25% from the field. Looking to get a bucket on this one. 8 seconds left and a turnover. 23 turnovers on the night, and that's just the first half. Top of the bucket, Maya Sellen has entered the chat and gives South Dakota State a 3-point lead at the half.
It's the only word I can think of to describe what I think they need to do.
And that's fine. You run your race, Helen. USC, 3rd lowest points in the first half this season. They had 16 and 17 respectively prior to this ball game. They are sitting at 20 as they're on defense first, and that look out of the gate by the Jackrabbits, no good. Let's go back to the beginning of this ball game where the Trojans led 12-2 and South Dakota State outscored them 21-8 in the last 14 minutes of play to have the 3-point lead to end the half.
Well, the Trojans, they owned that first 5 minutes of the game, especially Rhea Marshall was getting the rebound here. But then after that, it was just South Dakota State settling down and playing their brand of basketball.
That's the look you want if you're Rhea Marshall right now. Has 6 points, 2 for 8 from the field. Different looks in our brackets for this year. Integrate alongside Helen Williams. Always a pleasure working next to you, friend. Timmer to the bucket. Timmer for another 2.
Again, downhill. That's working for them.
Right now, USC hungry for some points. Shooting 22% from the field. Rhea Marshall continues to struggle from underneath after hitting the first bucket of this ball game, getting an and 1.
Yeah, I thought Marshall got fouled a little bit there, but the officials are letting them play, so they have to play through it.
Cal Bacon, Alicia Murray, and Zach Brost, the officials for tonight. The scoop shot no good underneath, and the rebound, that goes to Peyton Burkhardt.
Just the offense for USC is just anemic. Just where do you go?
Sissoko,
Finally,
there it is.
Finally, they're able to get a great opportunity for her, and she converts.
Second field goal of the ball game.
She's getting frustrated.
Meyer does an incredible job turning the corner off that top screen.
And the problem is you can't help off the shooters, so if you get beat one-on-one.
You mentioned just off the top, just the contrast that we've seen in the style of play as Sissoko. Beautiful textbook pump fake and gets the deuce.
And you see USC now putting on the press, trying to generate some more offense. Those long arms in the passing lane.
8 points for Caddy Sissoko. Out of bounds, turnover for the Jackrabbits.
It was in motion, in the offense, good pace, and they took advantage of the mismatch there with Sissoko. And when you see South Dakota State run a play, it's because they see a mismatch somewhere and they want to try to exploit it.
O-board for the Jackrabbits. Paige Meyer. She needs to copyright that one.
Well, you know, again, downhill, they can't leave the shooters, and they're not communicating on that screen on the ball.
As
Well,
Rhea
okay.
Marshall said, you know what? I'm just going to step out a little bit. Selin pretty much left alone. She's going to go all the way on the inside and gets the and one against Rhea Marshall. 11 points for Maya Selin.
Yeah, everything's to the right, and they are just going downhill, and no one from USC is stopping them from driving right from that same area, that elbow.
So Maya Selin stepped up to the free throw line. She's a senior out of Letcher, South Dakota. Her older sister Shelby is actually their Dobo as well. They have a barn on their farm in Letcher. Trojans have 22 seconds to work with. And the and one goes to Rhea Marshall from South Central. She has a block in 50 straight games. Couldn't connect. Has struggled from the free throw line in this ball game. South Dakota State can hold for the last shot of this quarter. And that's tipped away by none other than Rhea Marshall. She's going to take it herself. Gets the Euro finger roll just short. And that'll do it for the third quarter. USC with a better performance in that third quarter. 11 points.
They don't have to put on a coat to come outside. They're happy with it.
Like,
having little picnics outside.
Ran into a couple of fans. They said, we don't mind staying a couple more days. I think they were leaving, at this point, a blizzard. He said the amount of snow that they had before they left was unbelievable, that they actually had to close down school.
Which is saying a lot in South Dakota. Both teams want to come out of here with set plays to try to get some offense. Just a great defense there. You cannot make long, floaty passes against USC because they are too fast and too long. 1
point lead. So she passes Lisa Leslie. That says a lot.
That's some good company there. You've got to make short, crisp passes against their pressure. And you got to keep coming until you catch the basketball.
All the way to the bucket. Can't quite connect. On the cleanup, Tyson tried to get something, and there's going to be a foul that's assessed. We'll see on who. And it looks like it's going to go against Rhea Marshall. That's going to be her second. Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi are headed to Dallas and bringing their insight, experience, and humor with them. The Bird and Taurasi show at the Women's Final Four, Friday, March 31st and Sunday, April 2nd, live on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
Must-see TV.
Another block. That's her sixth of the ball game. Rhea Marshall. Block call. Destiny Littleton trying to work her way on the inside. It seems to be okay now. Dumbia trying to see if she can connect as well. Another block call. How about that one? Offensive effort in the first half. The Trojans regain the lead. But this one, I would say, Coach Johnston definitely has a point.
He has an argument there. But again, they stuck with it, their defense, and blocked shots. And with all the misses, they've got a 1-point lead.
Rhea Marshall had 6 points at the half. Now she's sitting at 13. And what's been interesting, too, is that she's been able to mix it up. We saw her in the first half with more of the back to the basket. Now she's getting the ball in that mid-range area, and that's why. I don't know what to say. Passes Lisa Leslie in blocks. South Dakota State just down 3. It's been a game that's gone back and forth.
Yeah, and they've ramped up their defense. They're very long and they're very quick, and so you have to make short, crisp passes against them. And South Dakota State's really been struggling to do that here this fourth quarter.
But the primary thing from both coaches is what they were saying. We know what we're good at. It's how we do it for 40 minutes.
And at this point in the season, you don't make a whole lot of changes to who you are.
Connects. Taylor Bigby knocks down her 23rd three-pointer of the season.
USC, their calling card is their defense, and they've been able to turn South Dakota State over here.
So not the look offensively. Lindsey Gottlieb was looking for her squad. South Dakota State haven't had a field goal in the last 6 minutes. That'll do it. Tori Nelson able to turn the corner and break that drought.
See, USC has these moments where they do really good things offensively and then they just make bad decisions.
Maya Selling trying to work against Sissoko. 5 ties, 4 lead changes. We're locked at 40 with less than 5 minutes to play in this one.
And South Dakota State, half of what they normally average offensively. Only 40 points today so far.
Marshall. Haley Timmer slows things down a bit. Took a little contact at the top of the key and no foul was called. Selin gets the ball, gets the bucket, and Marshall probably took some contact underneath as well. She's holding her jaw.
She's looking at the official to make a call, but I think it was just inadvertent contact there by Selin.
What a tough leader of this program. Maya Selin, the senior out of Letcher, South Dakota, the 2-time Summit League Player of the Year, right now with 16 points, is giving her team the lead. Four to work with for the Trojans. Look on the inside. Sissoko was left all alone. And we're tied at 42.
Well, very fortunate there because at that possession, it didn't look like anybody knew what they were looking for offensively.
A lot of contact underneath. Sissoko going to be called for that one. Gail Williams will take a seat. Selin gets the first. Well, the NCAA Women's Championship continues tonight with first-round games and continues through Sunday, April 2nd, when we crown a champion. Every game is on the ESPN family of networks. For more information, go to NCAA.com.
They're a team that you can't just focus on one player, and that's what makes them so good in their offense, why they're able to score almost 80 points a game. Is everybody contributes in a different way depending on what the offense and the matchups are.
Selin gets the ball, takes a power dribble, and drives that one in. 4 for 17 from deep. So using a lot of the clock. Numbia tried to see if she can get something at the rim. South Dakota State still with a 3-point lead. Trojans, do they look for the three now? They launch it just short. They get the old board. They still have time to work with. Littleton gets the ball to go.
That's a player who has won a national championship, who understands what it takes to perform under pressure. 7 seconds for South Dakota State is a very long time.
And the next foul on them actually puts them at the free throw line for 2. Selin with the ball. 2 seconds left. That's tipped. That's out of bounds, and that's going to be the ball game. So the Trojans are 2-2 in overtime. For South Dakota State, this is their first look at overtime play this season, as that one's tipped behind by Rhea Marshall. Rhea Marshall with 7 blocks. None bigger than that last one on Selin. Top of the key. Adika couldn't get that one to fall. Shooting about 41% from the three-point line. You could tell when she came into the ball game, that's what she was going to provide for this team. Maya Selin tries to reverse, is able to draw the foul. She'll get 2 free throws. So Caddy Sissoko actually picks up her 4th personal foul. Selin gets her 20th point. She now has 9 games with 20 or more points on this season.
84%. So again, this feels like a heavyweight bout. You can't have a split decision, though. Somebody has to win. It's going to come down to a couple of tight plays. And plays like that on defense. Great team defense by South Dakota State.
Smart defensively, hands straight in the air. We mentioned how they're their best in the Summit League. Not just in scoring, but on the defensive end as well. That one almost tipped away. Selin gets the ball back, is able to get the end one. How about that? And Caddy Sissoko actually fouls out of this ball game.
Yeah, just a great job here of driving to the basket. And this was after she set a screen. She works really hard when she gets there on the block.
And has the wherewithal to have the pump fake as well. Sissoko on the bench now. Destiny Littleton sends it up top. That's launched, and that's a bit short.
Yeah, that they settled for that. Just there was no ball, no people movement there.
You can't say it enough how well this team moves the ball. Led the league in assists as well, as that's another foul. And South Dakota State in the bonus.
She gets to the spot where she shows them the numbers and they give her the basketball.
I mean, does a little bit of everything. Shooting 80% from the free throw line, but also giving back to the community. Started a nonprofit organization with Tori Nelson called Her Turn. Littleton still patting the rock at the top of the key. Marshall gets the ball, and that's pretty easy. Selin gets the ball back on the baseline. This time she's guarded by Adika.
See, this is a mismatch on the perimeter. When she needs to get to the inside, they switch, and it still can't guard her.
Maya Selin. And another turnover. That is the 20th turnover for the Trojans. And a foul at the top of the key with less than a minute to play. That'll send the Jackrabbits back to the free throw line.
This was a textbook overtime in terms of coaching for Coach Johnson and getting the right matchups. Go into Sellen on every possession. These 2 free throws are the only 2 points that she has not scored.
And a foul is going to be called. This one, and she drains that one. Actually started as a cheerleader and found her way on the basketball side, saying, I can see a future for myself here.
The problem for them is that South Dakota State shoots really well from the free throw line.
Drains that one is Maya Sellen, just short of tying her career high. Destiny. Paige Meyer will step up to the free throw line. This sophomore out of Albany, Minnesota.
This is a missed shot that you get the defensive rebound.
And drains the second for the report, but we see that they've concluded. Destiny Littleton. That's blocked. Actually, there's a foul called. And Destiny Littleton, who shoots 88% from the free throw line.
This is a great angle here. Reset the clock.
It's taken round robin around the league. Texas started USC with the Trojans and then decided that she wanted to finish out her career with Lindsey Gottlieb. The lowest free throw shooting percentage for this team is at 73%.
Oh, they got a turnover.
But you can see how that one, that's a scary area to be in. Another defender on that sideline and a costly turnover.
So plenty of time here just to get off a good shot.
That one sent out of bounds.
We've got Littleton taking the ball out here. Watch for her getting the ball back.
Adika sends it to Littleton. Littleton can't come down with the three or the foul. Nelson drains it. 19 for 24 from the free throw line. That's where games are won. And she drains both.
And in their big wins, they average taking 23 free throws, so they're right there at their average.
Shooting 80% from the free throw line. Littleton, they'll let her get all the way to the rim. 1.9 left, and there is a timeout.
We'll see what South Dakota State does.
Patty Sissoko, one of them.
Well, USC in good hands with Coach Lindsey Gottlieb. She's got a great core there, got a great recruiting class coming in, got them back to the NCAA tournament.
And that'll do it. 22-game winning streak for the Jackrabbits. And that's the first time we've seen Aaron Johnston smile in the last 3 days.